Sai Ram. It was in the 1940s in the city of Bangalore in the state of Karnataka in India. In one particular home, there was one very sad, forlorn and dejected lady. She was upset and she was feeling very sad because nothing in her life seemed to be going the way she had expected. She was all alone at home because her husband was out at work and she did not know what to do, and so sad she was that she decided to sit at her altar and cry. That is exactly what she did, sitting in front of her Lord Krishna and saying, "Oh God, how I wish you are there in my life. My life feels so empty and feels so meaningless. Please come into my life. Please, I wish you are there. Please, I want to see you. I want to hold you. I want to touch you." But more than her mouth, it was her eyes that were doing the speaking, because she was just shedding tears profusely. That is the language of the heart, right? Pearly teardrops from the eyes. Suddenly, she heard a knock on the door. When she opened it, it was her cousin brother Nagaraj. He looked at her and asked, "Why have you been crying?" She said, No, I'm not crying. While I was washing my face, some soap went into my eyes and that's why these tears are coming." He said, "Listen, take this coin, keep it in your altar and worship. Do puja to it. It will ensure that never again in the future soap will get into your eyes." He had understood. She looked at the coin. There was a strange figure on it. And she asked, "Who is this?" He said, "This is Sai Baba, Shirdi Sai Baba." Sai Baba? That sounds like a Muslim name. I'm not interested in worshipping any Muslim. Give me any Hindu god or goddess and I'm ready to worship. He said, No, you have misunderstood. Sai Baba is Muslim, Sai Baba is Hindu, Sai Baba belongs to all religions. You don't worry. In fact, his parents were Brahmins. They were Hindu Brahmins. You please listen to me and worship Sai Baba, and as I said, you will never have these tears coming out from your eyes. The circumstances in which all this happened were so, strange and coincidental that this lady, Mrs. Nagamani Pourniya, decided to listen to her cousin brother, kept the coin in her altar and began to worship it. Did God come into her life? Did her Krishna come into her life? You bet, because she ended up writing this book, which is filled with miracles and experiences galore. Mrs. Nagamani Pourniya definitely got God into her life. The way it happened is just amazing. So, Nagamani Amma's husband returned home and he told her, "It has been so long since we have visited a distant relative of mine. Let us go and visit her today. Let us visit Kamalamma today." And so that evening at 5 p.m., Nagamani Amma and her husband go to the home of Kamalamma. As they go there, Kamalamma and her husband are discussing about the miraculous manner in which Sai Baba saved a person from drowning in a well. Now, Nagamani Amma's ears perked up. Sai Baba? He saved a person now? Yes. And Kamalamma and her husband were talking of Sai Baba as if he was alive even at that point in time. She said, I got to know about Sai Baba just today, but he passed away 40 years back, right? No. We are talking about Sai Baba at Puttaparthi. Now, who is this? Well, you know Shirdi Sai Baba, right? This is part 2. He is there in Puttaparthi and it's amazing. He is God in human form. He is the avatar of the age and that's it. Nagamani Amma heard many wonderful lilas and stories of this Sai Baba of Puttaparthi. And then the final icing on the cake was when Kamalamma told her, "Tomorrow we are going to Puttaparthi. Would you like to join us?" "Oh, wonderful. Why not? Yes, I would love to join." Then she got to know that the next day there was a Sakamma. Yes, that very same Sakamma who purchased all the land on which Prashanti Nilayam stands today. That Sakamma, she had arranged for a truck to carry so many materials to Puttaparthi, and in her car she was taking Kamalamma along. Nagamani Amma also joined. The next day in the car, in the front was the driver and Kamalamma's husband. In the back seat, it was Sakamma, Kamalamma and Nagamani Amma, and they travelled to Puttaparthi. You must understand that back then, there were no photographs, there was no mobile phone, there was no way in which Nagamani Amma could have known how Sai Baba looked. She was expecting to find a very tall person with a long beard, similar in looks and appearances to Shirdi Sai Baba. But she says she found the sweetest little person, a cute little boy whom she felt like bundling up and taking back with her home. And as they saw Swami, Sakamma and Kamalamma garlanded him and they took namaskar. Nagamani Amma spontaneously felt like bowing down to this person who seemed to be exuding an aura of divinity and an aura of love. Even as she bent down to touch his feet, she felt all her fears, all her worries, all her sorrows, everything that was negative within her just evaporating, dissolving, disappearing. And she felt a surge of joy, contentment and peace. And instantly she said, "This is my God and He has come to me." Well, they stayed on for a week, after which they had to leave for Bangalore. Nagamani Amma found it very, very difficult to leave. In fact, as Swami himself walked along with them to bid them goodbye, she began to collect the sand on which she was walking as a way to keep in touch with him. Then, as they crossed the Chitravati river, she picked up the droplets of water from the river where Swami had walked and drank it as Tirtham. At that moment, Swami turns around, picks up little water and tells, "Hold out your hand." And then he pours those few drops of water. It's a golden talisman. And Swami says, "Keep this in your altar. You will never be sad and unhappy and miserable again." That was how Mrs. Nagamani Pourniya came to Swami. What struck me was the moment she took the first step towards God, God took 100 steps towards her. The moment she said, "Swami, I want you," the moment she cried for Swami, Swami was there in an instant. The moment when I say Swami, of course, I am referring to God, but it doesn't matter. Just like water is known by different names, God is known by different names. It is the same power that responds. Dear brothers and sisters, we cry for so many things in our life. Have we any time cried for God? When we think, why is God not coming to me? Why is not God responding to me? I always think whether I have cried for God. People might say that it was fine for Nagamani Amma because Swami was there. Now what? Now what when Swami isn't there in the physical frame? Well, it reminds me of an episode that happened sometime in 2014 or maybe 2015, early 2015. I was feeling a kind of emptiness and void, and I felt, "Swami, I want you in my life." I remember sitting and shedding tears and saying, "Swami, my life feels so empty, so meaningless. Please come into my life. Please come and fill me." Yes, this is after having received so many darshans, attended so many bhajan sessions in the mandir, had darshans and having spoken to Swami. Still, because Swami, God is not a physical entity outside us. It is an inner connection, and that inner connection has to be vibrant and alive always. Otherwise, despite having received so many chances and so many gifts of grace, we will lose that connect. And that was one such moment where I was feeling disconnected. And even as I prayed like this, my wife Pooja advised me that keep yearning, keep crying, keep pining for Swami, He will respond. And that night, Pooja gets a dream in which Swami is speaking with me, and I will not go into the details of the conversation between me and Swami in her dream, but it was amazing. And she told this to me in the morning and said, "See, you prayed to Swami and see how Swami has responded." I was partially satisfied because I said, see, he came into your dream. On the same bed, 1 foot away from you, I was sleeping. Couldn't he have come in my dream? I am not satisfied, Swami. Please, I want you, Swami. Not indirectly. I don't want an indirect connection with you. I want this direct connection. Dear brothers and sisters, as Pooja went to the altar, she called me. She said, Arvind, look. And there was this little wooden statue of Hanuman with his chest torn open, he's standing there, and at his foot is Vibhuti that has manifested. She said, see, Swami has sent Vibhuti for you. Again, I was happy, but not fully satisfied. I said, see, this Vibhuti could be for anybody. I'm happy that Vibhuti has manifested at home, but this Vibhuti could be for anybody, right? How do I know it is for me? So, I still don't feel that direct connection. Swami, please, please, please. And that is how I spent the whole day, crying. I went to Radio Sai for work, but throughout I was crying, saying, Swami, crying meaning whining and complaining and telling, Swami, I'm not feeling that connect with you. I want to connect with you, Swami. I want you, I want you, I want you. I think that by His grace, I had taken the first step, and He indeed took 100 steps towards me in the most beautiful fashion, though He wasn't physically there. The evening before I went to play badminton, once again I just dropped into the altar, a small enclosure in our room. And there I saw that in front of that Hanuman, little more Vibhuti had manifested. And I felt happy. And I said, wow, this is interesting. Pooja, come have a look here. Some more Vibhuti has come. The moment she saw that, she said, there Arvind, there is your answer. See, Swami has come for you. I said, how? This Vibhuti is like the Vibhuti that came a couple of hours back. How does this say that Swami has come for me? She made me look at that Vibhuti from another angle, another perspective, and then it became clear. Because dear brothers and sisters, that Vibhuti had come in the shape of the letter A. She said, Arvind, in this home, who else is there whose name starts from A? A for Arvind. This is what Swami is saying, that this is my grace for you. I felt a warm feeling in my heart. I felt such a strong connect with Him, and I said, thank you, Swami. Thank you so much. I was so thrilled that I immediately called my mother, who was in the mandir at that time. Back in those days, she used to do security duty in the Kulwant Hall. She has done that for 14 years. And I didn't want to ruin the suspense for her. I said, come home, see, something amazing is there in the altar. When she came home, she rushed straight to the altar, and then she tells me, I don't see anything special. Yes, that Vibhuti had come in the morning. I saw that Vibhuti. I said, no, see the shape of that Vibhuti. She said, no, what is there in the shape? And then I go to the altar. Dear brothers and sisters, amazingly, there was no letter A. It had vanished. It was just Vibhuti like it was originally. Wow. The appearance of Vibhuti is His Leela. The disappearance is also His Leela. And I was so thrilled and touched. Even to this day, in many ways, all we need to do is seek Swami, and He will respond. He will respond. He will respond in so many ways. It might seem like a small thing for the world, but it will thrill us in our heart. Recently, in the April of 2023, I attended an international conference held by the Sri Sathya Sai International Organization at Sai Premanilayam in Riverside, California. It was an amazing event. And I was there in the United States of America for 3 weeks. Now, every time I travel in order to share Swami's stories and glories, I keep praying from Swami for a sign. Usually what happens is, the aircraft in which I am traveling, that flight, there will be an empty seat next to me, and I'll feel, yes, Swami, you are there traveling with me. This time when I had to leave to Los Angeles, I flew from Bangalore to Doha in Qatar, and from Doha to Los Angeles. I knew that the flight was full, and therefore I said, Swami, some way please show me that you're traveling with me, because I know there'll be no empty seat next to me because the plane is full. That's what I got to know. Dear brothers and sisters, as I sat in my seat, the person who came and sat next to me, believe it or not, unbelievable, was wearing an orange t-shirt. Even as he sat next to me, my heart leapt into my mouth and I wanted to carry a memory of this episode, right? So I whipped out my mobile phone and I wanted to take a selfie. I wanted to take a selfie in which he's also included, but I just hope that he doesn't see that I'm clicking his photo. Okay, that's why I've blurred his face here also when I'm showing it in the video. As I clicked the photo, he actually saw me taking it and he asked, "Selfie?" And now I felt so embarrassed because I had included him in the frame. I said yes. And then he says, "Meek Telugu vastunda?" In Telugu he spoke to me and asked, "Do you know Telugu?" Wow! Imagine, what else do you make of it? A person in an orange dress speaking in Telugu. I was so thrilled. Well, it turned out that this person and his wife, their daughter was settled in the United States and they were traveling to the United States for the first time. They were traveling out of India for the first time and he was nervous about changing his flights in Doha, and he asked me whether I could help him with that because he was on a flight bound to some other place, not to Los Angeles. And I told, "Don't worry, I will help you," and that's what I did. And in the end, in Telugu, he spoke only Telugu. I also spoke Telugu with him and he said, "Thank you so much. You have no idea, you have been like God for me." I also held his hand and I said, "Thank you also so much. You have no idea. You have been like God for me." The feeling in the heart is so beautiful. Even to this day, if we feel we want Swami, all we need to do is just look towards him. He will look towards us. Take one step towards him, he will take 100 towards us. When I got inspired to do this video based on the experience of Mrs. Nagamani Pourniya, I walked up to my wife and asked her, "Pooja, do you know anybody who has become Swami's devotee after he left the physical frame?" Because I thought that would be a nice experience also to share along with this. "I myself am there, Dad," I heard a voice. It was little Bhakti. She said, "See, me. I became a devotee of Swami after he left, right? I have not seen Swami." And oh yes. So I asked Bhakti, "So do you think Swami responds to you?" She said, "Every time. Whatever I ask, he gives me." "Oh, whatever you have asked, he has given you?" "Yes." "Everything?" "No, some things he is yet to give." "What do you mean yet to give?" "Dad, when I have asked him, no, he is 100% going to respond and give it to me. If till now I have not got it, means that there is a better time to give it. So he is just waiting." Those were the beautiful words of wisdom that I received just short time before I started doing this recording. And I thanked Swami and I prayed that let my bhakti always be like this. Let my bhakti always grow. Let my love for him keep growing. Let me yearn for him more and more. Dear Swami, thank you for always taking those 100 steps when we take that one step. May we always take every step in our life towards you. Thank you. Jai Sai Ram.